Hey, this is Dr. Vance Hardisty, and I'm shooting from a Hindu temple here in India. One of the greatest gifts that you can give your people is the gift of vision. It will change their lives. It will change the life of your congregation. It will change their families' lives, and it should change them generationally. So what do I mean by it? What do I mean by the gift of vision? I don't mean the gift of your vision for them. I mean the gift of giving them the ability to be able to have vision in their own lives, to be able to think beyond the normal, the everyday, the whatever they're comfortable with, and to be able to see the world for what it really is. If you had the opportunity to be with me and to be able to talk to a number of the pastors that I deal with, you would meet men and women who are ministering to hundreds with practically nothing. They just don't have anything, and their people have almost nothing as well. And yet our nation is filled with those that have an abundance. And so one of the things that I believe is our responsibility as leaders is to give our people the gift of being able to have vision for something greater and bigger than they could ever be. And the way that we do that, the way that we go about handing off this gift of vision, is to first have it ourselves. You can't give away something that you never possessed. And so if you find yourself lacking vision, then I would beg of you to be involved in a way in the world, whether that means traveling or studying or whatever it happens to be, so that you can see personally, in your heart, in your gut, you can feel the needs that circle around us around the globe. And you don't allow yourself to become complacent in your church, in your community, but instead you see that there is a world to be reached for Christ. Once you're filled with this vision, then you have the obligation to hand it off to the people with whom God has given you the opportunity to minister to. I didn't say that very well, but you know what I'm saying. And the way that we do that is by first taking people who are comfortable. They love what they're doing. Nobody wants to change, and especially people who are wealthy and like Revelations chapter 3 verse 14 says, they're rich and wealthy and have need of nothing. These people don't want to change. And so what do we do in order to draw them to the place where they say, oh my goodness, life could be so much better? Well, first of all, we have to make them aware of the problems. Now, you don't want to dwell here. And nobody wants to spend their time going from the life that they live now into just thinking about problems, but the problem has to be raised. And so that's the very first thing that's actually the second thing. The first thing is by infecting our own hearts and lives with the concept of vision and living in it. Second thing is to paint the problem of what's out there, to make people aware of the issues that are throughout the world. Then the third and most important thing is to actually give them a picture of what life out there could be if they were willing to use what it is that God has given them. And I think it's so important to be able to take people on a journey through their lives, to be able to open their eyes to the wealth that God has bestowed upon them. And I don't mean just wealth in monetary, I mean wealth in relationships and business opportunities and travel and freedom and all the rest of these things that God has filled our lives with. These things that are in our lives are not there for our use, not there for their use. Oh yes, God has given them those things in order to be able to enjoy. But the major reason that God fills our lives with these absolutely incredible things is so that we can take those things, those opportunities, those relationships, those business acquaintances, all the rest of those things, and use them for the kingdom of God. And so if we can paint the vision not just of the problem, but where all of their resources can go in order to change the problem, now we've started. But then the next step, and here's where it gets really powerful. In order to paint the vision effectively, we have to paint it in such a way that people can taste it, touch it, feel it. They can They can feel it viscerally. They can sense it. And it's your responsibility in order to paint that vision so literally that they literally live what it is if they were to live in obedience to God every single day using their resources in order to change the lives of others. Give people the greatest gift that you can ever give them. Give them the gift of vision. And so here's the process. Number 1, allow God to impact your heart. Number 2, paint the problem. Number 3, paint the vision. Number 4, paint the vision in such a visceral way that they literally live it, and in so living it, realize that they have to take practical steps in their lives in order to see it become a reality in their life and the lives of their family. All right? Have a blessed and a wonderful day.